Hello and welcome to Naija's Geeking Out. This is episode 199, our penultimate episode to episode 200, which will be marking another celebration from us. But before we get to that, let me sound off the guest. Red the Regular, how are you feeling today?
I'm good. See, I actually forgot to change my name. I should have used Unbreakable today.
But you were very much broken last weekend, so I don't know what you're talking about.
They tried.
No, today, I think he meant to say it should have been Mr. Glass.
Mr. Yes.
I'm unbreakable.
Okay. If that's the story you're sticking with,
Yes.
we'll leave it to you. Kex, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good today. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Another week, another podcast, and more just comic book news, comic book stuff to talk about. Yeah, glad to be
And
here.
unlike some people, you completed the assignments we gave out, right?
100% for sure.
Exactly.
Diligent student. Red is like, call me if you want to talk to me.
No, wait, Red, are you saying something?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, good. Dapo, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm here on time, homework done. No excuses about car accidents, being run over to avoid reading the comic. It's all good.
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. But yeah, so for today's episode, we'll be reviewing a couple of comic books that most of us read. That will be the complete because Juniper has been writing Boy Wonder. The series is now complete. So we'll be reviewing issue 1 to 5.
Yes.
And we have a new comic book from Dotun. You should know him. He's one of our favorite upcoming authors. He's no longer upcoming now.
He's not coming. The guy is doing Storm now.
Yeah, he's doing Storm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Murewa is the author.
Oh, Murewa is the author.
sorry,
I keep on mixing.
Yeah.
Dotun is the artist.
Yes, and
Yes.
I know what he was trying to say.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So yeah, Murewa is writing Storm. His partnership with Dotun has produced wonderful books like Iron Man and
Yes.
Akogun the Brutalizer, which we reviewed the first three issues when it came out. So this week, Murewa is partnering with Mamode, another author we've reviewed on the podcast.
Yep.
He won the Nomo Award for his last book. That's The Dream's Assistant. So we are having
best writer for a comic.
Yeah. So we're having these two authors partnering together to write You Have 10 Years.
Yep.
And we'll be reviewing that particular book. It's just the first issue that we have. So yes, we'll be talking about that as well.
Dotun actually does a page on this, or does a page on the comic book as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I think it does page 19 or so.
Yeah, the main artist is Samuel
Iwunze.
Yes.
Yes, that is an artist that if you're following Nigerian comics, you should know him very well. He's one of the most in-demand artists. He does Earl, and Earl is known for his his visual style.
Okay.
And he does some other covers here and there as well. So yeah. So we'll be talking about that. But before we go there, we have some very somber news to talk about.
Yes.
A few minutes before we began recording, we got some very bad news about James Earl Jones. He passed away recently. Yeah, just now. And this is devastating news for everybody here.
Yeah. I mean, King Jaffe Joffa, or what's he called, of Zamunda. I mean, that's probably where a lot of us first met him, and they're like, oh, who's this guy with the deep voice and such a regal and majestic carriage? Like, he was, you never think that the guy was a Philly man or a Philly boy. He was just something else. He will be missed. And then, a few years later, he did Mufasa, and he's someone that, when you hear his voice, you're like, yeah, of course, it has to be him. Who else could it possibly be? And it was great, so good. They called him again for the live action. I think he was the only person that actually came back for the live action and voiced the same character. Everybody else, they kind of went with, the popular in people at the time. But, with him, they were just like, that's such an iconic voice. And I think he's been voicing over Anakin Skywalker as Darth Vader for decades now. I mean, literally decades. He will be missed. I mean, he's a great actor. well, I mean, from what we know, fantastic human, patron of the arts. Like, yeah, he will be missed. And I mean, 93 is really good innings. So, I think it was a good time to bow out. Yeah, so missed and great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you are right, he'll be missed, but this is more of a celebration of the life he has lived,
Exactly,
which is an
exactly,
which is a very impressive one by any
exactly,
standards.
exactly. Yeah, his
Yeah.
contribution to. Sorry, go on, Dabo.
No, I'm just echoing what you're about to say.
Yeah.
His work that he's left behind speaks for
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
He's somebody who's made an impact on the world. I mean, we
Yeah.
can only hope to achieve 100th of what he's done in terms of
Yeah.
and the legacy he's going to leave behind. I mean, I've probably throughout my whole life, he's been a presence back there. You know, for me, I guess the biggest thing for me is Darth Vader. He was Darth Vader, the body
Yeah.
of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Then he did Lion King, and even when you see, even coming to America, you know, he's there as the king. His voice is unique as well. I don't know if there's anybody else who comes close to that voice. I'm pretty sure they are, but I don't know them.
Yeah.
I know James Earl Jones, and 93 is quite good. That's a long life, a rich life, successful. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a celebration. They should be having a big, massive party. You know, for his, you know, I'm not sad at all. You know, he'll be missed in my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everything the light touches. I mean, yeah, good voice. Red?
Yeah, well, like you all
Wait.
said,
So wait, before you go on, can you please tell Kex never to try and
No, I'm just saying
Imitate-
that was one of his
imitate.
lines now.
Yeah.
That's one of his
the way
lines.
you said it just
Like,
fell flat.
come on.
Where we've heard the
Please.
original. Imagine.
Yes.
Sorry, Red, go on, please.
yeah, well, there are a couple of classic lines. I am your father, everything light touches. But like you've all said, it's a celebration of life. 93, it's no mean feat, and it's accomplished what many would not accomplish in 5 lifetimes. So
Yeah.
Was he not working till like at least a couple of years ago?
he was in the.
I mean, he was in Coming to America too. So
Yeah,
he was in the last live action Lion King. So yeah, he's been
So he's been working.
even at the latter years, he was still busy.
Did he do Rogue? Did he do Rogue One as well? I presume he did.
He did a good one.
I think he's always done that. I think I wouldn't even be surprised, even in the Anakin, even in the series or whatever.
He's always voiced it. It's always voiced
yeah,
Vader.
always done the
Yeah.
voices.
Yes. So yeah.
Top dog, top man. Top
Yeah,
man.
a true legend. Yeah. So moving on from
Yes.
that piece of news to what's this thing called? Some casting rumors. So I don't know why this is a news item, but Andrew Garfield has said strenuously that he is not in Spider-Man 4. And that is the title of the article. That Garfield has said he is not in Spider-Man 4.
Why is even who's saying he is in it?
Oh,
Yeah, they were asking him.
Who was asking him that?
I think this is a callback to. I think this is a callback to Spider-Man 3, which was what's it called? What was that thing called? No Way Home, where he was asked several times in interviews, and he consistently said that he wasn't. So now it's like they basically don't believe him. So they're like, "Are you going to be in Spider-Man 4?" And it's like, "No, of course not." I mean, why would you say that? You know. So I think it's more a callback.
Okay.
I don't.
But the thing is, he also said in an interview with Screen Rant that there's an endless potential of Spider-Man in the future.
Of course.
But do we want him?
So that's my next question. Do we want to see him again?
Yes.
I'm glad you asked that question. I'm very glad you asked that question.
Okay.
I do not want to see him in an MCU film with the other Spider-Man again.
Yes.
If Sony decide they want to give him a proper ending, because he was shot one film, he was cheated out at least one film. Maybe I would say yes. The only hesitation I have for saying yes is Sony's track record at the moment.
Yeah.
I can't see how it would be any good. Now, having said that, if they get the right director, someone's got a love for doing it, like they got Midler and
Well, they
Logan.
got her lost, but okay.
Yeah. So I'm not out there shouting for a new movie of his. I definitely don't want to see him in the MCU. And the reason why I say I don't want to see him in the MCU is because it means more multiverse stuff. And I really think Marvel needs to pivot away from that.
Okay. I definitely want, like I said, I want the conclusion to his own story because it's a beautiful story to be told. Like if you get the right director, the right writer, telling that story of how he comes back after the losses he has had, it's going to be something worth watching, and ending it on a triumphant note. Like having a Spider-Man that is finally happy. Yes. I would really want to watch that movie.
Question. This story you want to see?
Yes.
I'm presuming you mean it's post.
Go ahead.
It's no Way Home life.
Yes.
When he goes back. Okay.
Yes. With throwbacks to what happened after Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Yes.
After Gwen died. So I know I've said this before that I really think that film would have been better if Gwen had survived. I think it ended on such a downer. I mean, I don't know how that movie ended in that manner, and yes, No Way Home ended in a similar manner where he loses his inspiration or whatever, and May.
And
then at the end of No Way Home, I feel more hope. Even though he loses his friends, he loses his family, everybody forgets who he is.
Yeah.
But somehow, I don't know how come I feel more hope at the end of that movie than, I don't want to say despair, that I felt at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I can try and answer that question in two parts. One, it was a choice. He chose that, and it was like a triumphant choice. He won a victory despite his losses. In Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man lost. Beating Shocker was never the point for anybody watching that movie. It was that the point of the whole story was a relationship with this person, with Emma Stone, and then you have the fact that it's compounding the loss of part 1, where the dad died warning you to stay away from his daughter.
I forgot that.
Yeah, that was the only thing he asked you to promise: stay away from my daughter. So it just compounds the feeling of loss there, and there was no victory.
You know what? I just realized.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield has taken L's in all his films.
Seriously.
His dad, the captain, Gwen Stacy.
Yes.
If they bring him back, he might lose more people.
But that's why I'm saying that I want to see a story where he's dealing with that loss, and you get him to at least, even if he's not happy,
honestly, I don't even want him to deal with the loss. I want us to he's dealt with it. Let's move forward. Let him meet MJ somewhere in the middle of the film. Let there be happiness. Let it end with him being happy. Let him end with his bad with the honeymoon. What?
I don't want him back.
What?
I don't want him back.
You don't want him back? Why?
No. I just don't like him. So I like his Spider-Man on screen swinging and everything, but outside of that, I just don't like his stories.
I did like some aspect. I don't like him as a Peter Parker at all.
I agree. That's my biggest issue with that.
But I think I just feel like he, like you said, he has had too many L's. I think he has one more. They have one more chance, and I do believe if they want to do it, is to make a lot of money.
People like him now.
People like him. People want to give him a chance. People like the actor.
Like that scene in No Way Home. I mean, there are two scenes, but the scene where he catches MJ, it got a lot of reactions. Like it's one of the emotional high points of the entire movie. Him catching MJ like that. So yeah.
Well, it's had enough practice.
Moving on.
Cold.
Oh wow.
Moving on.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So moving on.
Okay.
8 billion. Yes.
So before we move on, something just popped into my mind now. The end scene to Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
He opens
3 or 2.
3. This movie.
No, this one that we are doing,
Okay.
right? This one that we're writing now.
He opens the door. This woman walks in, redhead, and says to him, "You just won the jackpot, Tiger."
Not at the end.
No,
Not at
they
the
shot
end.
their love. They shot
No,
their
not
love
at the
story.
end.
I want at the end.
Not at the end. No. I want to see
might
the
be-
love story.
Because you don't get the closure you want.
No, I want to see the love story build.
Okay,
Yeah, that's-
let's put like this. That at the end, maybe they are the honeymoon and they are set up
As
with the
in-
sunset.
exact-
and
as
she
in,
looks
I
at
want-
him
you know, it's
and she
like-
says,
I want
yeah.
it to be solid and
And she gives
complete.
that line.
And it got together. I don't want any ambiguity.
For Disney.
I even want to see. I even want to see me, the daughter, like
I
at
tell
the
you,
end.
Then they
Yes.
got since she's pregnant and he's
He's about to
swinging.
give. Yeah.
Why
And-
don't you just
yeah,
give him
exactly.
five-
That's
why don't you just
perfect.
give him 5 more movies?
Give him 5 more movies.
You know what? Let them just end it
daughter.
on. He's swinging through New York. He's stopping some bad guys, but he's in a hurry to get somewhere. And his phone is ringing and he's on the phone. You know the way he swings and talks
Yeah.
as well. And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm on my way. I'll be there. And then he's on the way to the delivery of May Parker by his wife,
Yes.
Mary Jane.
Good.
And he gets to the hospital in time. I swear to God, that film, 900 million. 900
At
million.
least.
How many times did you watch it?
Do you
I
know?
I'll watch it a lot of times. I like Andrew Garfield. I do. I like him a lot.
Do you know the collective catharsis that kind of movie would give fans? As much as you don't like the movies, that catharsis you get from this guy being happy.
we
Yes.
will like it, guys. Let's
We
not
will
lie.
like it,
Let's
yeah.
not lie. It will be good. But are they willing to
Hire the right director
hire the
and
right
script.
The director the last director wasn't bad though. Mark Webb. He wasn't bad.
Mark
but I
Webb,
mean,
yeah,
like,
the
that story
scripts.
was just
Yeah.
a bit too much.
Matt Webb does. I think he does great action scenes.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, the action scenes were on point. In
Yeah.
that, so, like,
But I
yeah.
feel the story is just a story. You
It's
know,
just a story. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And some choices made about the villains as well. To be honest, I thought all the villains, the way the villains were made, it kind of
Yeah.
That is big.
Okay.
That's big.
Mm.
Wait. Well, let me ask one last question.
Yep.
Which villain? I was going to say Craven, but there's already a Craven movie. But which villain would we want to see in Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 3? It has to be a new villain.
That was my question. A new villain entirely.
You want somebody coming back?
Not the old guys. But which villain would you want them to explore?
I was thinking Craven, but there's already a Craven movie. So
My initial choice, I just realized he's already been in the film, so I can't even choose him. It has to be. I was going to say the Vulture. For some reason, I wanted it to be the Vulture, but we've already had Michael Keaton's Vulture.
true.
Are we allowed to use the Scorpion, even though he's already kind of been in MCU?
Yeah, we can use it.
Yeah,
okay. You want to Gargan?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Would he be good enough?
No.
But
For the main villain of a Spider-Man movie.
We've not had Kingpin though. We've only had Kingpin.
Yeah, but
We've had Kingpin as Daredevil.
Yeah.
He'll get complaints.
I thought of one, but he's not really a match for Spider-Man.
What about Tombstone?
Just give him the Sinister Six.
All of them.
All of them. Just give him a Sinister Six for him.
You know what? I agree.
No.
Okay.
Give him Rhino now. We had a Rhino.
Rhino, that was the end of it, but Rhino is not a villain you are struggling with over a
A Rhino that he rehabilitates. Part of his making a good film. He makes him a good in the end. Like in the comics.
Yeah.
You know what?
But
I think Sinister Six is good.
Yeah.
Sinister Six is good. So let's Sinister Six with Rhino.
As the one is rehabilitating.
Yeah.
Still trying to struggle with crime.
Yeah.
So it's less about him punching the bad guys and him helping.
Yeah. Rhino. Shocker.
Yeah.
Chameleon.
Give him the superior Sinister Six then. Those bunch of losers. If you're going that route.
I don't remember.
Who those?
The bunch of losers. Superior Six. That comedy book, that one.
I swear I can't remember them.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't remember this book that was very popular? The Superior Foes of Spider-Man. It was about the Sinister Six. They were all losers in the book.
I don't remember. It sounds familiar, but I don't remember it.
This guy
wasn't too long ago.
So they were like the lower echelon versions of all his villains.
Was it when it was Doc Ock that was existing?
No, it wasn't Doc Ock. It was still Peter Parker. But these guys were like, it was a comedy spin-off of the book.
Okay, I can't remember. It sounds fun.
There was the daughter of Tombstone. There was this Boomerang, I think, was the main character, where he was always competing against Bullseye and losing badly.
That would be nice, actually. Yeah, so we have people like the Beetle. Yeah, that's a good one. We have the Beetle. We have Shocker. I would like that. Yeah, but okay.
I like the current daughter of Tombstone, who's the Beetle.
Beetle, yeah,
she's quite good actually.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. Go on. Also, in Spider-Man news today, we have. I think we've heard that the director for Spider-Man 4 for the MCU is going to be Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi. Now,
you heard me. You heard me. Applause.
Anyway, as I was saying. You come and see some nonsense light show. Anyway, I think this guy, the MCU keeps pushing this guy because we heard that he was going to direct Avengers 5 or something as well. I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
But I think they've given it to the Russos now or something.
Yeah.
So they seem to think the guy is hot shit. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's not that he's hot shit. It's like, for me, it's like they have a stable of directors they have in their roster that maybe they have a contract with or something. That okay, these are our directors for the next, or maybe they're part of people that planned out the next phase for them, and they're picking and removing something like, oh, you did this, you cannot work again. We are moving you forward. We are shifting. We are bringing the Russo brothers in, so you take this. Maybe what's his name? Watts said, "Oh, I'm not doing it again."
I know John Watts said he's not doing it again. He's not
exactly. John Watts said, "I'm not doing it again." And they tried to convince him, "No, okay, we need to hand it over to somebody already involved in the planning."
So the former director of those movies says he doesn't want to come back.
That was the guy that did the Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to do the Fantastic Four as well, and he dropped out.
Correct.
Yeah.
So okay, I see your point. They might already be like a brainchild of directors, basically.
Exactly. So it's like it's easier than trying to bring in someone new entirely. So
Okay. And this new while we're on Spider-Man, before we move to the next news, this new film they've announced.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, and I know I don't remember correctly, where we left out, we're talking about our Spider-Man, the MCU one. We're talking about the Tom Holland one. It's almost like a reset point. He's brand new. Nobody knows him anymore. They don't remember his identity. So the whole Iron Man connection is basically gone from him. He's probably now. I don't know how this works. Would the Avengers even remember him?
No, of course not. Why would they?
Watch them reset all of that back.
Why would they? They wouldn't.
What I said, Kex, watch them in the first 5-10 minutes, reset everything back and everything be fixed.
Right. So today,
or at the end of the movie,
today, if they do, that is a total misstep.
Because
they would do that.
Shall I tell why they're going to do that?
Okay, go on.
Go ahead.
My conspiracy theory, they're bringing back Tony as this thing, as Doom, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
For whatever reason, they might want to form that emotional connection between Tony and do the playback of do the resonance to I Love 3000, I Love the death scene of Tony and Peter, where instead of Tony saving Peter, Tony kills Peter. Things like that. Yeah, so for them to do that, you need to build up you need to have a reason for him to be part of the Avengers and all of that.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who is Robert Downey Jr. playing?
He's playing Doom.
He's not playing to Stark, is he?
See, he's not.
So can we say something? He's playing Dr. Doom. We don't know if he's playing Victor Von Doom or Tony
Or
Stark
is
becomes Doctor Doom. They literally just said,
or
No, 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 no,
or
no,
Victor
no,
Von
no,
Doom as a
no.
variant of
He
Doctor
was
of
he was
Tony Stark.
announced as Victor Von Doom. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
we don't know if
No,
it's going to be a
it,
variant. If
it was not announced as Doctor Doom. It was announced as Victor
Victor
Von
Von Doom.
Doom.
But
if
what
you're
I'm
sure.
saying is that
Okay.
Yeah.
we don't know if they are going to go with I can recognize this person as Tony Stark, but it's just a completely different character. Or they are saying, oh, it's Victor Von Doom. Even though it looks similar to Tony, nobody can see the resemblance. I don't know how they're playing that. My guess, yeah.
If they go for what you're saying, i.e., he is Tony Stark, just a variant who's now called, but everybody
Victor
sees
Von
Tony
Doom.
Stark, then they are fools and others.
Because why I say that is that you cannot have what's this name guy? You cannot have Tony Stark back and have him and not miss that and completely sever that thread of him being the one to save the universe and him being the one to destroy the universe and not have it be the same person, except on the meta level. It's like you are missing a lot of opportunities there for casting him. Otherwise, what's the point?
So
Today they're not
you-
going to turn. They're not going to reverse it.
You
They're not
you
gonna
believe that?
They won't reverse it.
Okay.
They won't
No,
reverse it.
okay. So you are saying that it's just going to be Victor Von Doom and
No. I think to give you both sides, what they could do, it could let's say what you're saying is true today, that this guy is kind of a 8 on the stack, a variant, right?
yeah.
And they want to give you that connection. They could give it from Tony Stark's side and have Spider not know who he is. Or actually he can't because he.
You mean are you saying things the other way around?
No, so the other way around. Have Spider-Man remember who he is, but they don't. He doesn't. He has no attachment. No, they have.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's not a reset now. Spider-Man is still not remembered by them.
Yeah, but I'm saying that for them to get to that level of multiversal play,
Yeah.
Spider-Man would need to be part of the Avengers in some form.
Oh no, he can't.
Yeah, but
that will happen.
Spider-Man will be part of the Avengers, but not Peter Parker. Nobody will know he's Peter. That's what they want is the secret identity.
Yes.
Okay.
So people know Spider-Man as, hey, look, it's Spidey, but nobody knows that it's
Peter Parker.
Yeah, that was
That's fine. So that was like comics. That's fine. Spider-Man, they now see he just a new again. Oh yeah, Spider-Man, come, you're one of our heroes. Blah blah. All that Peter Parker to the Stark connection is gone from their side.
Okay.
But he remembers, I guess. He remembers, i.e., Peter will remember that I used to hang with you guys. We used to do this stuff.
It's going to start a romance again with Gwen, with what Mary Jane Zendaya. I don't think she would remember.
I believe if they do any long thing, like if they make it beyond one or two ish, if they do a Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man 5, he's going to reconnect with Mary Jane.
Yes, he's going to reconnect with Zendaya, and there's no way they can do that anymore and wave that she doesn't remember, because people will be up in arms. People will be up in arms that taking advantage. See the way people are about memory.
I think you might be overcooking it, to be honest.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, because what they're trying to prevent, what they are trying to do is they're trying to take away his support of the Avengers. I'm going to call on somebody to come and help you. They don't remember you as this.
Yeah.
They don't remember who you are. So, and they want to do some independent Spidey films without Cap coming in or somebody coming in. Spidey just do their own thing. So okay.
It's a good point, though, that Robert Downey will be the one to save the universe, then will be the one to destroy it. Some person.
You know what?
I don't know what they're going to do with that.
You know what? I just hate this. I hate this idea of you coming back at all. I really
I don't like it.
I hate it.
It makes me tired. Like, it makes me weak. It just makes me sick.
You want to why very smart in the room thinking.
Yeah.
Right?
Because why immediately they said it, they announced it, my mind immediately went to the end of Secret Wars, where Doom does the snap and destroys the entire universe. And resets it into its own universe, into the battle world. And I feel like they are going for that same, like the way Tony snapped at the end of Endgame. They are going for him doing that same snap, filming it exactly the same way, and changing everything.
That would be.
I'm going for that parallel. Because that's the only reason why I can conceive them casting
That's a
Tony.
scale. That's a big scale. That's
Okay.
that up.
Okay. You know what? Today just managed to get me depressed. You know,
It's a very good point. I didn't think about it that way.
No. My fear is that
is that I'm right.
That it might happen.
You might be right. Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
Can we move on, please? Sorry.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
Let's.
Moving on, 8 billion Genies. It's been confirmed this will be getting an adaptation to a movie, not a TV show. Now, we've talked about 8 billion Genies on the podcast. It's the book by Charles Soule, where in the opening, the inciting incident is that everybody on Earth got a genie to make one wish. You can wish for anything possible. It follows, then it moves from 8 months, 8 days after, 8 months after, 8 years.
8 hours, 8 days, 8 weeks,
8 months, 8 years.
Yeah, 80, so that kind of thing. So it spans a very long period of time. I think 80 years, or is it 800 years? Until the last genie is used.
I think 80 years was the last one. I think
80 years was the last one.
It was 8 years. Yeah.
No, it wasn't 8. It was like 80.
80.
I remember
80,
it was actually 80 or 800 because I remember what happened on 80 years. 80 years was when the Wish Factory, what's it called? The guy with the Wish lawyers.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
I don't like
movie or TV show. Go ahead.
Definitely a TV show. It's an 8-episode TV show. That even it's like
if that 8. Yes,
it's an 8-episode TV show. 45 minutes, 50 minutes. I mean, like it's perfect as a movie. This is going to be horrible. It's going to be bad.
So I'm
agree with Kex. The very fact that the people who bought this came up with the idea of a movie and not a series tells me they've got the wrong end of the stick automatically.
Yeah, they've got the wrong idea.
And this is going to be failed. I've just seen the people involved with this. It's Seth Rogen and his crew.
But they've been good at adaptations, though.
Tell me. Give me.
No, I know because I remember Seth Rogen has been doing some really good stuff. Now I'm trying to off the top of my head.
This is not a movie. It was not written as a movie. The format it screams TV series naturally.
So
naturally.
My counterpoint to this is
go
that the first few books of this thing are too short. You can easily do them in the first 10 minutes.
You are clearly a smart person, so you know that they are not going page for page. You should know that we're going to dive into the story now.
Let me frame how they'll do it. Like the first few issues where they get the wish, we see the catastrophe from the wish, we see everything that happens, and then they move forward to the 8 years where the story, because that's where the bulk of the politics start happening. I will start seeing the characters of the baby and the childish papas and all of that.
Would you prefer this as a movie or as a series?
Me?
What?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No. I'm asking today if you prefer it as a movie or a series.
I can see it working either way.
Wait.
Answer the question.
You need to listen. Would you prefer it as a movie or as a series? There's no right or wrong.
What was wrong?
No, there's no. No, I'm actually thinking about this. I'll prefer it as a movie, actually.
Okay, that's fine. Because I just wanted to know if you were playing devil's advocate or you genuinely wanted it as a movie.
I genuinely think it can make a good movie. That's what it can make a good series. I can see the point of a good series, but I can see it as a tighter script as a movie. Where
2 hours. No, man.
Yes, 2 hours. Like the first few minutes, they get to the bunker. People start wishing. You see the effects around the world. Then you do a time skip to 8 years, where you have the main plot where you have all these various factions with remaining wishes, and then you follow the story of the Superboy, the boy with superpowers, and all of that.
See,
and then you from there you end it up.
I don't want.
There isn't enough room to land the character development wrong way in this. There's just so much they could do to build up. I don't see it as a movie.
What worries me is the fact that Soul, obviously, Soul the Soul has got its money.
I mean,
they're gonna cut out a lot of. It's gonna be like.
No, to be fair, I can't blame Charles Soule at all, because this is probably not even like it is mine, not his best work. So let me sell this. I'm gonna and it was auctioned, so it was Amazon that bought it. So you know that other people wanted it.
So that's where I said something has been involved in the Amazon stuff. Yes, the boys and the stuff. Yeah.
Can I read something else? I think we have to really start a discussion again. The series was first optioned by Amazon back in 2022.
Yeah.
At the time, it was revealed the company not only intended to turn it into a movie, but create a franchise that spans television shows as well. So that might still happen.
Okay.
Maybe this is a test in the waters. I don't know.
Guys, so this what I'm saying here is sorry, Red, go.
I said movie then spin-off series.
Yeah, but this just feels like are you trying to make it The Boys out of this? Then we have cartoons and we have like
you can actually out of 8 billion genies. Because 8 billion genies is not an expansive world.
Yeah,
you can literally create a new character in that world and tell a completely different story. And
I visit different of these eras. That town, this town. I can see them doing that.
You are so right. Can I tell you how you could do that? Just to a series, just to an 8-episode.
Yeah, of course.
Just to an 8-episode series. You don't have to. So you don't have to. This thing is like it's not like taffy all the time. You stretch and stretch and stretch. You have do
a single high budget.
Wait. Why is it? How is it that in the last decade or so, everybody wants a franchise? It's not by force.
Because it's the simplest way to make money now.
It's the simplest, but also the dumbest. Because then you start even losing people. Look at TWD. They first of all stretched this series for several years, and now they're doing so many spin-offs, and nobody even knows anymore.
Is
there actually return on these, or is it just a case of I have an idea? Okay, then they should continue to do it. Knowing that
they will stop if people are not watching.
They should continue.
See, as long as they are making money, they are fine poisoning the well onto the well and they move on to the next one.
Let me tell you something. My Amazon, I just pay for it for 1 year and I have no problems. So if they want to continue to make, they want to do a puppet show of 8 billion G's. That's fine. It's no skin of my nose. I just don't think it's the best way to go. But fair enough.
Okay, we can see. Okay, let's see whatever, because there's no director yet, but we'll see once we get more news on it.
But can we just establish for our listeners that we all agree that it was a great comic book?
Yes, we liked it. The idea was good. The execution of how the genies work was really, really good.
Yeah.
And he played a lot with the ideas about it. So yeah, I liked it. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. I have two more. Okay, one more actually. And that is the Joker 2. It premiered in Venice. We've already gotten early reviews about this. Some very, very tepid reviews from some certain quarters, and then some very good reviews from other quarters. What did you guys think of the reviews? And has it changed your expectations going in?
Everyone has been consistent.
No. I'm very okay with average reviews. I don't mind them at all. I think they actually help to level set me, rather than there's what I hate. What I hate is standing ovation. 7 minutes standing ovation. 11 minutes standing ovation. When I see that thing, automatically in my mind, I'm like, this film is going to be very poncy. And I think this film actually even got this sequel got a standing ovation, because I think I've seen a clip of the Phoenix nudging had to stand up and they're standing up. And do you know how I can't imagine clapping. If I saw Jesus come back, I can't clap for him for 11 minutes. You know how crazy it is to just stand there and just be clapping and feeding somebody's ego.
This needs to be used as a fight. That mark this moment.
What?
We all of us have been to Power Must Change
Let's
Hands
put it.
now. We
If
don't
Jesus
clap for
comes back, I didn't see
11
my
minutes.
clapping for 11 minutes. Let people go and find out what you're talking about.
I'm not even being funny. If you stand up for more than a minute and you're clapping, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with you.
You're a dickhead.
What have you seen? What has happened?
Nah. So
I mean, have you knocked one out?
What?
For more than a minute? So that sounds to me like all this arty-farty crowd
it does
like, trying to get this pass on the back bullshit.
Yeah.
Now, having said all of that, I was looking forward to this film. I wasn't looking forward to the first film, and I did not like the first film. And when I heard this announced, I did not like it, and I didn't want to enjoy it. I saw the trailer.
So good.
And I actually liked the trailer, and I thought, oh god, I want to see this.
Best trailer I've seen this year.
Yeah. Now these reviews are coming out. I'm slightly worried. This might work in my favor because I'm slightly worried now. Oh god, it might be that's good, and I might enjoy it. So I'm not as excited as before. I'm not a bit more cautious
about it. Okay.
Yeah, about it. Yeah.
I think that's a fair stance to take. Yeah.
I think I prefer this film to the first one. I mean, visually, there are even some contrasts and some I don't know what word to use that I just really, really like in this film. Like there's a bit where he's walking in the rain in the courtyard, and then the prison guards, all of them have different colored umbrellas. Like it almost generally almost looks like, I don't know, it almost looks like a play, like a theater production.
Something in that scene.
Which one?
There was a song playing in that scene. I'm trying to remember that song.
Oh, okay. I'm already partial to this movie. I think I'm going to like it. So
yeah,
you can say what you want to say. And I actually think, I believe from this trailer that we've all seen, the one trailer that we saw, we didn't see the others, I think Harley is the bad guy here. And I think Harley is...
It's a romance.
I think Harley is a bad influence. Like, it's just like...
Okay, yeah. It's
like I said, it reminds me of Legion. Where...
Yeah.
What's that girl's name?
Audrey.
That girl, like Audrey Plaza.
Aubrey.
Aubrey Plaza. Sorry, it's not Audrey. Aubrey Plaza. He's basically like the bad guy. He's like Farouk. So I'm like, she feels to me like she's the one that is more the bad influence than him. I want to see this. I don't care what they say.
Okay. So yeah, we're still looking forward to it, but more tentative.
Red, are you going to watch
expectations?
I'll watch it.
Yeah. Opening week now. Yeah.
Maybe not. I'll probably watch it.
Okay. So yes, that's Joker. Now, moving on to comic book reviews.
Yep.
So we have two in front of us. Do you guys want to start with Juniper or
Let's start with Boy Wonder. Let's
Boy Wonder.
Boy Wonder really
okay. So Boy Wonder, Juniper tells the tale of Damian Wayne in a very fairy tale manner, where he encounters members of the Bat family. Issue 1 was Nightwing. Issue 2 was Red Hood. Issue 3 was Tim Drake. Issue 4 was his mother, Talia. Then issue 5 was about Batman. So this is exploring the different facets of his relationship with the characters, and then also expanding the Robin world a bit more. Yeah. So, guys, what did you think about this overall?
Can I ask a question first?
Yeah.
Can you explain to me who Juniper is?
Okay. Juniper is, I think, one of the most is a very famous comic book writer in Africa. An artist, yes. He has done so many independent works. Very big on the Afro-futurist scene. I first encountered Juniper on Kugali. This was when Kugali was still publishing anthologies way back there. This is early 2010s when I started reading comics. So when I was looking for African comics, Juniper was one of the first names that kept being mentioned. He has done some really good works that some people have very strong opinions about. Either they really like it or they really don't like it. So yes.
Okay.
And he's been doing some covers there and there over the years. I think I'm not sure if this is his first book with DC. but this is the first one I sat down to take notice of.
I would not be surprised, actually. Yeah, I don't know of any of his books that he's done with like the big companies. I think he's
I know
the
he
ones
has done
I
covers for
know.
them before.
Okay,
But
covers. Okay.
yeah. So yes.
Okay. I mean, this is my first introduction to Juni Bar.
Juniper.
I think
Okay.
you spoke to me about him offline, and about some work. I think you guys don't mind his work, and but this is my first introduction to him via DC's book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So regarding this book, The Boy Wonder,
Yes,
I like it a lot. I like the fairy tale style of the fairy tale storytelling style, and I like the art as well, which is very, very suited to kind of a almost is it 40 nights, 40 days and 40 nights kind of Arabian Nights type style of writing, of drawing, sorry. And even like, because he's also, if you remember, he's recounting a story to a criminal. So he's like, oh, there was a boy, and the boy had 4 brothers, and the boy had 3 brothers, and a father who was never around, but he was like a knight. And then talking about the brothers,
the
say like
princes, the knights. Yes,
one was
Yeah.
kind, one was
The
kind and
Hunter,
brave,
yeah.
one was exactly. So using that style to depict each of his brothers and his relationships with them, and even their personalities. Talking about
very important.
Yeah, talking about Dick's personality being like a very kind and open person and very supportive, but because of the kind of person Damien is, he's distrustful of something like that. But even by the end of the thing, he's warming. Even like when he rescues someone at the end, he's now like sort of like, "Are you okay?" Which is not something, which is something out of character for him. And then talking about Red Hood and Jason, like almost like Jason has been broken by so many things that have happened, negative things that have happened to him, and and such and such, and then talking about Tim, saying how clever, Tim is, and it feels like I don't know, I don't know whether to say it, because Tim is the one that's closest to him in age.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's the dynamic is also weird where I don't know. Tim sees him like a younger brother, but doesn't entirely tell him, what the plans are. Like, this is what we're trying to do. They're trying to sneak into somewhere. So I really, really like this book. I like the idea of the book as well. And I like the way he talks about his grandfather, like the demon's head is like the big bad, with the horns and everything. It was such a clever idea and way of depicting the story. Nothing major happens in this story or in this book, but it's one that I would say, like, if you're a Robin fan, you definitely need to read, because it's another facet to the whole Robin, not mythos, but the whole Robin dynamic between the brothers. So yeah, lovely book. Red, did you get a chance to read the book? Oh no,
No, he gave his excuses earlier on.
Okay. It's 5 issues, I think. 5 issues.
Yeah.
So definitely The Boy Wonder.
Yeah.
That one, you?
Oh, I love this book, and it's weird because the very first issue, when I opened it and I saw the art, I was tempted to just close the book and walk away. But I'm a big fan of Robin. I've liked the whole concept of Robin, so I thought, I read the first issue. By 3 pages in, I totally forgot about the art. You kind of, I forgot about it in a bad way. You adjust to it, and then it becomes, okay, this is actually, I can see why the art is like this, and I got used to the art. And weirdly enough, in the second issue, I then appreciated the art a lot more, especially in the way they depicted Jason Todd as this really rough,
at the lowest,
at his lowest scratch. He looks like a proper ragamuffin off the streets. Like somebody, if I see on the road, I'll cross the street to avoid him passing by him. So no, the writing was great. I like that idea how the characteristics of each Robin was detailed, as you've laid out already, Kex, and nobody was mischaracterized, which is one of the biggest things I would normally have. Like like Bendis will come in and then change the character of one established character. No, he stuck to the mythos of Robins and their behavior as we know it. Talk about their strengths, how it plays, on Damien, and how it helps to shape Damien as well. Because we know Damien's had it's fair to say, a traumatic upbringing. I won't even say troubled, because a troubled past means he thinks he had a bad upbringing. I don't think he believes he had a bad upbringing. But
fair points.
But what is being shown that there is other ways to be. There are other ways that are equally good, if not better. So I liked it. I liked how, yes, you're right, Nightwing started rubbing off on him in the way he deals with people.
Yeah.
He in a weird way, I think he saw Red Hood more as Red Hood really was, and was able to relate more with Red Hood more readily, in my mind, than Nightwing and than Drake.
Yeah.
I think I don't think he had no respect for Drake, as because somebody said earlier. I think he has a closer age-wise, and he does. I don't even when you talk of Robins, obviously Nightwing is seen as the number one, the top boss. He's graduated, So that way, but he will see Drake as his closest rival because Drake was just before him.
Exactly.
So
of an age as well. The age gap is not insignificant. It's not so significant. Yeah, you're right.
And I like the fact that Drake didn't even try to explain to the guy, you can do this. No, it's a good book.
Yeah.
My question to you guys is,
yes,
who is this book for? I would not recommend this to a non DC fanboy.
I will.
You would?
Okay. I would 100% recommend this to anybody. Okay. Like I can recommend it to a newbie and to an OG, because this book is a celebration of Robin.
Yeah, but don't you think it relies a lot on knowing the mythos of Robins beforehand?
I think it does a good job of explaining the mythos of Robin in the books. Yeah, it does a good job of setting you into the pace of the character. So if you have no idea of who Batman is, you can take this and read as a proper fairy tale book and get the gist of what he's saying.
Yeah, I see both your points. I would rather give it to someone who is familiar with the Batman books and such. If I wanted to give someone who was fairly new to DC, I would give them that. Is it Jeff Lemire Robin book, where it's about Dick Grayson, and it's just after his parents die, and he moves into the house.
Oh, I remember this.
With it's like 4 issues too. I think it's Jeff Lemire or remember it's Jeff Lemire, and he encounters and he learns the secrets. He gets the pixie boots and the costume and stuff, and he's going through. So that book, that those 4 issues, that I would say, go and read that, get a bit of an understanding of where Robin comes from, and then build up a little bit. But this one is, like you said, it's a celebration of it, to truly appreciate the differences and everything that each Robin graduate brings. I think it's definitely worth them.
So to talk about the book a bit more, because I love the book, basically the 5 books, and I kicked out a lot at different points of the book. Like with Nightwing, there was the scene like you mentioned where he rescued the old woman, and you can see when the old woman thanked him and he was crying like a little child. I really appreciated that moment where it comes to realize that there is, and I think one of the themes of the book is realizing where his grandfather was wrong and what his grandfather calls a weakness that he sees as a strength. Like he sees Nightwing as a show off that relies on other people. He learns that that's not actually true. That's his strength. Helping people is actually a strength of people. His relationship with what's his name, Red Hood, and I think that was mentioned. That's the strongest issue there. There's a conversation they were having with each other where Red Hood was like, Batman doesn't see him as a failure. Why doesn't, like, Batman is known for helping people in their darkest, and why didn't he help me? And then this guy comes with his own perspective that I see how much Batman considers his own personal failure and how much he regrets the decision. why can't he be more forgiving of me as he is of you? And you get, and these are the only kind of things you get when an author introduces a fresh perspective into the character. Because we know these stories, but I've not actually seen Damien feeling that kind of way about his relationship. With I know he's uncertain about his relationship with Batman, but looking at Red Hood as I'm being jealous of Red Hood in that way, it adds a lot of context to his character that previously did not exist. Then with Tim Drake, where he's like, oh, Tim Drake doesn't trust me. He thinks Tim Drake was scamming and he's being morally wrong.
Corrupt.
Exactly. And it ties into his own insecurity. That I'm quick to look at the worst of my brothers rather than trusting that they are. So it's like and this keeps on building with his mom, where he sees, oh, my mom loves me and actually tries to do the best for me, but with the tools she knows how to. So exactly. So so it's like this journey of self-awareness, this journey of you are building your character, you're going on a how would I put now? On a character.
It's journey of self-discovery.
Self-discovery. It's a proper character arc up until the end, even with Batman and uniting with the family, and then you get the discovery of how all the Robins are all spread across, and there are tools for helping people based on the lessons he has learned, which is problematic because one of them got kidnapped by a criminal, so you are basically using child soldiers. But it is very one thing I would say is the quote he uses at the beginning of the book of issue 1, the Darwin Cook quote, where at the essence of all superheroes, it's being childlike. Something across that line, and it sells this story. This is a very childlike story that is still communicating some very nuanced themes that as an adult you'll get it, and as a child would appreciate the journey, even though they don't fully get it, they'll still be able to understand and relate. That's why I said this book I can give it to anybody to go and invest.
And you know that this book. Sorry, just one last point. I know this book. Actually, and the reason why I kept thinking that this book reminds me of something like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, or Tales of the 40 Nights or something, is because those books typically, I don't know if you remember, but they, just like a lot of African stories, there's a story of almost like Joseph and the Technicolor and his coach. It's a story of a lot of brothers, and it's like the story of when the father asks the brothers to go and dig a well or something, or bring broomsticks, and they said, okay, put the broomsticks together and try to break it, and you see that it's like you have to be together. I don't like. It's almost like each story has a moral that you can learn something at the end of this story, learn something at the end of the story, learn something at the end of the story. It just has this very, very, an Eastern vibe for me, or Oriental.
It's not even Eastern. It's what you just said reminds me of all these family tales by moonlight.
Tales by moonlight.
Where you sit down and the old man tells you your story. This is what it reminds me of. The quote is, they are in the best sense of the word childlike. It is the very essence of the term superheroes. That was by Darwin Cook, the First Frontier. Yes. So that quote and the entire story, I think it's perfect. And I cannot get enough about the writing. The writing is actually very good.
It's the
tons of phrases he uses in the book. It's like, this is a good writer. I can appreciate the way he pens his word. I can go back and reread. Like, there are some phrases where I have to go back and reread, and I say, oh yeah, this is good. Especially with the art. And I think that's where comic books are elevated. When the writing is on par, and the art is also telling a dynamic story as well. Like we open up with a scene with a rich man throwing champagne off
from the tower building.
From the top, and it goes, oh, the poor person below would appreciate it, and then instead of it just lands on somebody's head and the person is annoyed, and just that scene alone in the first 2 pages, you can go on and on and talk on and on about what it means, and then you have things like that in the book all through.
I have a question. So I haven't read it, but I just bought it, so I have it now. My question is should I take you guys' words for it that I'm gonna like it, and despite the art, because
Yes.
I'm looking at this
Because of
art, I'm looking at this
Yes,
art, and
Red.
I feel like I'm going to.
yes,
Red,
no,
Red,
Yes,
you will
yes.
come to love the art.
Red. I was like that. Just read the first one.
Yeah,
The cover art is not very, very encouraging. If you guys have not
Red.
mentioned it,
Yes.
the Waka
Yes.
Pass.
Yes. We are recommending
yes.
it. Yes.
We are recommending it. Like
And I'm
the art
taking your
works.
word for it. Okay.
Yes, the art works very well with this book. So anybody that picks this book and thinks, "Oh, I might not like the art," you should give it a try.
That was my instinct. Oh God! But for it's Robin. I like Robin, and I said, "Oh, let me persevere."
I am going to bring the
halfway through. It was no longer persevering.
Literally read it today and just let us know.
Yeah, because like
okay.
Funny enough, I don't see how I don't see how this book would work with a standard Jim Lee art, with the way it's written, with another artist.
So you think the art complements the story?
The art really complements the kind of story it's telling.
The way the
story is very unique, so the art has to be as well. Yeah, like Jim Lee is actually almost like industry standard.
Exactly what I'm trying to point at.
Yeah.
So Red, there's. I'm not an art major, so bear with me. But this book, the way the story is, first of all, the way the story is framed, and then we're talking. There's a lot of metaphors used, similes, fairy tale imagery, all used, which this art kind of works a lot better with. Now, if Jim Lee did it, it would be Jim Lee does standard superhero. It will look too. I can't see him doing how he drew the demon, how he would draw the white angel, stuff like that. It kind of works for what they did here. There's a big fairy tale element. I guess that's the best phrase I can come up with.
Yeah, it works. So
okay. Ratings. 5 stars as we do out of 5 stars.
Yes. After this book, I know what is going to give it, but let's go.
Okay, that what you want to go?
Yes, I am thinking about this. I think I'm going to go with a 4/5.
Okay. Today?
Text.
Yes.
Someone wants to go
I'm going last on this one.
Right, so move on. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
If I was writing the individual issues,
okay,
I would give issue 2 a 4.5.
Okay.
I will give issue 3 a 3.5. And that's a bias because I wanted issue 3 to be the best issue.
Oh, yeah, but it's the lamest one.
It's not the lamest one. It's just not the best. I wanted Drake to have the best issue.
It's the lamest one.
Clearly, Mr. Juni Bar, your bias towards Red Hood and Dick Drake.
No, but
it's not.
It wasn't biased. Drake didn't have a bad issue.
Can I finish your talk? Okay. You are biased to the bar. You are just like these two here. You have your favorite.
It was based on the material he was given. It was some material.
It wasn't a bad story.
So it wasn't a bad story, but he put his heart into Red Hood.
Because Red Hood has more hearts to be given to now.
Are you listening to this?
Like how does Tim Drake relate to?
You know what? So I checked my score because I'm annoyed. 3.9.
Tunde should go next, actually.
No, Kex, go next, Kex.
No,
I already did. I said 5. I'll give it 5.
You give it 5.
I give it 5.
Yeah.
You give it 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 5.
I cannot be waxing lyrical. I can't find one thing wrong with the book that I don't like about it.
Very high praise.
Yeah. It's just remember, I'm basing this off of my enjoyment. I can't think of I didn't like this about the book, or I didn't like this, and I like original stuff. So I can't ask you to give me something original, and then, so 5. I mean, I like it. 5 issues. Let me see what you want to say and get out quickly. So this is more of what Marvel should really be doing. So
same 5.
So question.
Yes.
Has anything else been given a 5 here?
No.
We've given a couple of things 5.
Right.
We gave
comic books. I'm surprised Kingdom Come didn't get 5.
If what?
Kingdom Come. We've given a couple of few 5.
We've given the Philip Kennedy first issue of Superman a 5. That one shot he did.
Okay.
Where we're so happy. The one about gods. Before World. When he first wrote
the history of DC. The history of DC.
History of DC Universe got a 5.
Yeah.
Ridley.
I think we've given some books 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'll amend my score to it's a 5. Let's make it 5. I'll not amend it to a 4.9 because of the ending, because of the Russia Go versus Batman part, but it's a 5. It's a 5. It's a great. I thoroughly enjoyed this book.
I'm going to read it immediately now. Once we're done.
Yeah.
Please, you should. Okay,
definitely.
Let's move on to the next thing today. What do we have next? What's the next book?
Okay, so the next book we have is from Murewa and Mamode. It's You Have 10 Years. So it's a one shot. Yeah. So to amend myself, I was wrong about the artist.
Stop. Is it a one shot?
No, it's not a one shot. So it is the first issue. I really hope
you scared me. You scared me. So you said that's a one shot. Okay, go on. First issue. Yes. Right.
I'm not 100% sure, so it might be a one shot. You don't know with this kind of thing. But like this is what's this thing called? Murewa, Mamode, and Samuel. I was wrong about Samuel. He wasn't the one that did Earl. He's the one that did Metala. We've reviewed Metala before. Yeah. He also did Ashiri with Roy Okupe. That's this guy, the unique class. He did that with Roy for Dark Horse. So yes, he's a name in the comics that everybody should pay attention to. So this is a black and white book.
Yep.
Proper. It harkens back to manga style with the shading and and there's a lot of shading there. It's also a fairy tale, not fairy tale-esque. It's a Tales by Moonlight kind of story. Okay.
Yeah.
Medivia, it's not particularly
horror. A little bit horror.
It's dark, but
I'm not convinced by this Tales by Moonlight.
No, it's not Tales by Moonlight. It's like.
So, sorry, wait. 1 second.
I'm trying to describe the word.
So why I will agree with Tony on the Tales by Moonlight thing is, first of all, it's set in a village.
Yeah.
And then it's telling stories across, like it say, 10 years ago, this is what happened. Then another 10 years. It has a folklore kind of vibe to it. I wouldn't say it's not. I wouldn't say it's unlike Tales by Moonlight. I think it's
like Moremi story. Moremi kind of story.
I guess my hesitation with the Tales by Moonlight phrase is I always see that as a very. I never see those stories as being very dark. And I think this is a bit of a dark story.
It's let me put like the Green Fairy Tales.
This is dark. Okay.
The original Green Fairy Tale kind of story. That kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So it's a dark story. It's supposed to. Well, it's a dark story. It's said to be. I'm not particularly convinced, maybe because my palette is already.
What do you mean palette? No, what you mean is you don't have a soul. Which is fine. You should just nothing wrong with you saying that.
Yeah. So it's about this village where they have monsters that come around and that come out at night, and they all stay indoors. They protect themselves. Then in the day also, apparently the sun gets too hot and kills them.
Correct. Yes.
There's also that element as well.
Yeah.
That I think it either kills them or turns them to monsters at night. I'm not sure.
So the sun thing. Sorry. So the sun thing.
Yes.
Is it every day or some days? Because
I don't think it's every day. I don't think it's every day.
I know it was, but I didn't even know whether it was an event that happened that doesn't reoccur, but it was something that wasn't expected, because it was expected that everybody would have been like,
no, it was an event. So something happened.
Yeah, it was an event, like a category.
Something bad. Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it's something that reoccurs, and they're not sure when it reoccurs, or it just happened that once, because it was like this thing turns them to creatures of the night. And
you know what it does, or does it burn them?
It burns them, and it says it turns some of them to creatures of the night.
Yeah. So it burns them to ashes. And then from those ashes, some of them rise, like monsters, I guess.
Let me read that. And those that rose from the ashes, like the monsters that haunted us for generations, became creatures of the night.
That's the phrase. Yeah, that's the phrase.
That's the
Yeah.
phrase.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's that as well. And yeah, so it follows, and there are different types of monsters apparently. We learn that at the end. There are different factions of the monsters as well.
Yes. There are some to the west, the dogs, the devil dogs to the west. There are horned beasts to the east, and then north and south was like slime or something, was like some sort of acid slime or something like that. Yes.
Exactly. So this is like an oasis in the midst of of danger everywhere.
Yeah.
And we follow the story of this boy who is he, I don't want to use the word brave, headstrong beyond belief. Yeah, that's what I'll use for it. He's headstrong beyond belief. His parents had to chain him down to prevent him from screaming.
Going out, from
going out, and going to go and rescue a girl.
Gosh. Yeah.
And this was when he was 10 years old or so. Yeah, this was a 10-year-old boy that because there was a beautiful scene where we first see the child about to scream, and then the next scene we see the child's mouth being taped. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you cannot scream and make noise and cause problems for us. And then the next scene, we see the boy being taped on the floor. That you are a very foolish boy. Yeah. So that was good. So it's like, is this very headstrong lad that believes in, we should be saving everybody we can save, and he wants to go out and save this particular girl that they heard screaming. His parents won't allow him. They're trying to think about the ramifications and all of that. Yep. And then we get the next scene where his parents died, I guess, during the solar.
They burned up. Yes.
They get and we get some very visual images of the ashes. And I'm not sure how this ones. Did they hide underground?
I think it looks like they hid on the soil.
Yeah, they were on the ground.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the art a bit, but these are the kinds of things that I had to double check just to be sure.
Yeah,
I got what was going on there.
I completely understand what you mean. I had to do that a few times myself.
Yeah. So like then they get saved by the rest of the village. At a point, I wasn't sure if they were new people, but apparently it's the same village. They get saved by
likewise.
Some warriors.
I wasn't sure whether it was a new village by new people.
Yeah. So they get saved by the warriors from this village, and then we see him growing up.
10 years later.
5 years. Yeah, 5 years later actually.
Yes,
because his sister is now 10 years old, and
there's a gap of 10 years between him and his sister, right?
Yes.
If Unaya is 10 and he is
20, yes. Okay, so we see him being trained by the warrior to become a warrior like them, and then we see Ifunaya making a comment that she doesn't like how the high chief, the chief warrior
looks at her.
Looks at her. And for a minute there, I was scared about where the story was going to.
Likewise, I thought he was going to go down a darker route.
Yes. I was really scared when she said that look, and I'm like, oh God, let's not be that kind of story.
Exactly.
Technically, it's not that kind of story. She's just being used as a ritual sacrifice, so it's all good here.
Yeah.
Your definition of what is good is very strange.
So we get to the big reveal when Ifunaya becomes 10-year-old, and that so these villagers, rather than fight off the monsters themselves, they made a deal with the biggest monster that every 10 years we would sacrifice a 10-year-old to you.
Correct.
Correct. Yes. To you. So that's the 10-year-old that took the girl in the first issue that we saw when Ifunaya was just born as a baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say that the big creature that they made the deal with basically absorbs the 10-year-old and takes their face into. So think of this big monster that has several faces of all the kids,
and they're still alive.
And they're still alive.
They're still alive.
They're still in some form of agony. Yes.
Still alive and still begging for help.
For help. Yes.
From their people.
Yes. So we get this save one versus save 10,000.
Exactly. That was literally
that's literally the whole point of the story. So the warriors try to tell him, save one or save 10,000, like sacrifice Ifunaya for this thing. And
Yes.
he says no. He apparently kills the chief warrior, and
He
then
does,
runs
yeah.
back, kills the
Right.
villagers there.
Yeah.
Tries to save her, but apparently it's too late. The warriors
It's too
already
late.
absorbed
You've been
her,
absorbed
and
already.
the monster beats him up,
Yep.
and then
Easily.
easily beats him up. Yeah, and then we see 10 years later when he's leading an army. I'm not sure if he's leading the army or he's just
He
going
It
to
looks like
fight
he's
the
preparing the
monster.
army for the return of the monster to kill the monster.
Yeah,
When
he's
Yes.
they seem all armed and ready behind him as well.
Just fighting, yes.
Yes.
So that's where the story ends.
Correct.
And yes, guys, what do you guys think of this?
Can I go first on this one?
Yes,
Of course.
So, first of all, one thing that surprised me when you guys were reviewing it is how the twist caught you by surprise.
Which one?
Which
She
one?
was telling you,
Yeah.
she was going to be sacrificed.
Yes.
No.
Oh,
he didn't sacrifice her.
I thought he was going to attack. I tried to molest her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I almost and this is a question I want to ask you guys.
Yes.
I've read this. I think I've read this about a week ago now, and as I was reading it, it was almost like I know the story. I know the story. Like I've heard a version of it somewhere, but I could not think of any. Can somebody tell me what is the story of this?
I mean,
This story, this English story where there's a demon outside. It's got a famous name. There's been so many films about it.
there have been stories.
Beowulf?
Yeah, Beowulf.
Beowulf, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. There's a Beowulf, but I'm sure I've watched, read, seen something. So as soon as I was reading it,
Okay.
literally very early on, you know that scene where you said they'll wrap their mouth around.
Yes.
It started in my mind. I said, "This guy's going to be sacrificed in the next time."
Okay.
I just knew instantly.
Mm.
So straight away I go, "Oh." I was reading with that expectation already. Which kind of takes a bit away from derives a bit of pleasure. So
the
whole twist thing wasn't a twist for me. It kind of go, oh, okay, you went where I expected you to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of go on.
No, but for me it was like it was more of a relief that they didn't go the other part with
because you're a perv and you thought they were going to go. Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, because I had that in mind already that this was going to be an end. I kind of get that's why he was being looked at. Yeah. So I already had that in mind. Yeah. I mean, for me, this comic, I think it's a mixed bag. I won't to be honest. I think it's a bit of a mixed bag for me. Weird enough, the bits I wanted to know more about was this solar event. What caused it? Why these monsters? Why are these ashes now becoming monsters at night? What's your routine now during the day? I literally wanted to understand the rules of the world beyond the core story, which is actually you've partnered with this demon to fight these other demons, you know, and then the morality of what they were doing. Now, I know I'm a logical person. I've always said I'm a logical person. The logic of it is sound.
Yes.
You know, the logic of it is sound. But when today's only laughing. But when you're doing with human beings, logic doesn't make sense sometimes. I mean, if I was putting this on paper, you will lose your whole village, or you lose one person every 10 years.
Yes.
The option seems very logical what to go for. But when you're actually that person in that village and it's your daughter, it's a different ball game. You start to think, actually, no, let's try and attack this unkillable monster.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think what makes it worse as well is that they don't actually kill the kids.
Yes,
the kids don't die.
Yeah.
They are absorbed in agony into this creature and apparently never die, because obviously if there are loads of kids on this creature and it's been coming every 10 years, it has got kids who are decades old in pain. So that makes it worse.
Like it absorbs their soul.
It absorbs it's almost like a homunculus, like it absorbs their body into its big mass, almost but you can see their faces sticking out from the creature and they are still lips moving.
Where have I seen that before?
I'm sure you have somewhere. It feels very familiar. It feels like very anime
It's what's this thing called? There's a famous, I keep forgetting. It's a popular monster in fairy tales. I think it's a Russian tale. Yeah, where it absorbs things like that, and you can still see the faces.
Right. So Kex, you said that's worse.
That's worse.
In a way,
It's worse.
But in a way, this probably gives these villagers hope that at some point in the future they might be able to get those kids back.
No,
I didn't take that hope at all.
It was a sacrifice for them. But like, to your point about it being logical, nah. When it comes, we choose to sacrifice.
It's logical. It is. Why I'm saying it is for eons.
It's what we did. It's what we did.
To appease.
Yes. We literally did that as a species.
Yes. We've been giving princesses to beasts. We've been giving priestesses to people. The Inca and Mayans were
sacrificing. The Mayans, exactly. The Mayans did it regular.
We've been sacrificing princesses to krakens in Clash of the Titans. It's such a normal.
Dragons.
They come and take this one and you free our village and you come back. It's Fiona
from Shrek.
The problem with that, and I think most stories tend to go that way, rather than face the reality of the sacrifice is necessary, is that if you keep doing the sacrifice, you blind yourself to any other option. And so the sacrifice becomes a lazy option as long as it's not your own.
But today, human beings are inherently lazy.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm like. When people talk about the sacrifice being the logical thing, it's because it's the
easy option.
It's usually the easiest option, rather than consider the difficult option of we have our principles, we stand on it, and we find another way around it.
Or we all die.
Okay.
Yes.
To them, the option is we all die.
But they're not mutually exclusive today, because this is what I mean. This is a creature that literally defends them from the other bad creatures.
Yes.
If we decided to fight this creature, we would lose at least half our forces. Let's say there are 10 of us. We'll lose 5 people. Those remaining 5 people are now expected to now defend against the other creatures that are going to be coming, because the one that was our champion, we've killed it. Versus if we give him one person and there's 9 of us left, and we will live for another 10 years.
One person, it's not even one person a month, a year.
When they said every 10 years, I said, this is now. I was like, what a decade. This is reasonable.
And this is what the Mayans were not even doing every 10 years.
Those ones are motherfuckers.
What were they doing?
Those ones were killing people en masse, running blood down the steps. Those ones were.
They sacrificed to praise their gods on a regular, and it was not seen as an issue. It wasn't culturally.
Yeah.
There's this, not to sidetrack. I've read this book about the alternative history. If the Mayans had not been wiped out by the.
I know that. I know that particular story.
They still wouldn't have survived.
They would.
No, they would have.
They would have thought blood slavery would not have been wiped out.
Yes, exactly. It was established.
Rather than we having chattel slavery, we will still be having blood sacrifices.
Yes.
That was the supposition.
Yes.
That the idea was that the time machine chose chattel slavery as a less harmful option to the Mayans' blood sacrifices.
Blood lost.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, we can debate the moralities of their choices, but we can see. Also, you're gonna say something today?
Yeah. No. So we can debate the morality, but like the morality of the choices is the morality of almost every superhero faces. This is not the morality. It's like what they all face. My issue with this story stems from the character himself, and how would I put it now?
He's
not his foolishness. We are not giving I'm not sure how to feel. We're not giving enough definition about himself and the critical moments that form his actions.
Right. Okay.
We just know he's a stubborn bastard that apparently became strong enough without to beat the high chief by himself.
So
and then
you go.
Go ahead.
I guess I feel what they did was they packed a lot into this issue in terms of the progression.
Yeah.
So they did. There was no breathtaking, as you said, to build out the personalities of these guys. To even show a lot more of the interactions in the villages, the people, and everything. Especially that scene where 1 minute you're being restrained by the elders, but you still go in. You see this monster, you get defeated anyhow, and then 10 years later you're back.
Yeah, leading the monsters
in the
again
army.
to battle.
So it's things like that. Thinking, I maybe because again this is the first issue. Maybe we'll now see. Maybe the remaining issues will address what we're talking about. This is why I want to hold off judgment, because maybe next issue is about.
Are we sure there are other issues, or this is a one shot?
Okay, so apologies. I just assumed there was more issues.
Okay.
What does it say on the cover page?
So let me open it up now. So I just made that assumption today. So please bear with me. I might be wrong. No, the way it ended, you can't just end it like that now.
If it's not a one shot, it would have ended in before that particular end. Because as
it's a one shot.
Yes, because thematically it works as the ending, in that it's showing that we can actually fight against monsters rather than succumb to monsters. So that completes the arc of rather than we're sacrificing villagers, we're going to fight the monster. And
so you think that's the end? Oh, okay.
I think I'm not sure that's the end. I think it works as a one shot.
Oh, right, okay.
Whether that's the end or not, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I was asking to clarify if it's a one shot or not.
That didn't actually occur to me, That it didn't occur to me that it was a one shot. I assumed that it was the end of the first issue.
That's it. That was my assumption as well, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Yeah, so
can I ask a question here?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say something now. This story is actually a fairy tale story. It's actually a fairy tale story of Obaledo. That's the name of the girl that was taken in the beginning. Set from her perspective, who disobeys her parents and gets her face taken by a monster.
Right.
So this story tries to tell it from another perspective as to why nobody in the village helped her.
So are you saying this story is an established fairy tale story?
Yes, the story of Obaledo that gets her face stolen by a monster.
Okay.
So you disobey your village because of your vainness and your beauty, and then you go out at night and your face gets stolen by the monster. So this story is now like flipping it aside and saying, okay, let's try and tell the story from someone else, explaining why nobody in the village tried to help you.
Nobody tried to help you.
So this fairy tale story, is it a Nigerian one, an African one, a Ghanaian one?
It's a Nigerian one.
Right, okay. Now, maybe that's where I heard of this before. I can say this. The whole story is
yes, it's what's this thing called? It's an one of the Igbo folk tales.
Okay.
Yes, young pretty girl who meets a great misfortune when she disobeys her parents. So yeah, certainly a time when
I'm sure they've not done something like this on Tales by Moonlight.
It's that kind of story, yeah, from Tales by Moonlight, yeah. So she's this kind of girl that is so stubborn. They ask her to roast yam. She would not. She would want to go and eat that kind of, that kind of person. And then on her way, she disobedient to her parents. She goes out at night, and then the demon steals her beauty and leaves her with her own ugliness. But this now takes it to a whole nother level with the horror. So this is most likely one shot, therefore.
Okay. That would track.
Okay.
Impressions about the comic book.
Impressions.
I liked the art, but there was something I said last week, and it was like this comic book actually it touched on one of my bugbears, and that's I don't like black and white comic books.
Oh yeah, I know you don't. Yeah, I know you don't.
But there was one beautiful drawing in the forest when it meets the warriors at the end, where it's a landscape shot of the forest, and then you see all the soldiers, and then you see him facing the
So that's really good. Okay, that'll come to. I'll fast forward that to my second point.
Okay.
So the reason why I don't like black and white is because I find it very difficult to differentiate things like faces, characters. Like I'm like, I have to really look to see, and even things like action sometimes. Like if it's too dynamic, I'm now confused. You know, I'm like, okay, what is he doing? Is he slashing with the sword, or is he like it just doesn't it's difficult for me personally to follow the flow of especially one that if maybe it's like a super dynamic comic that there's lots of movements or stuff. Because that bit where the sun comes out and they're under the soil or under and then the sun is burning them. You know, I can see that it's supposed to be actually a very gruesome
thing
or sequence, but I can't really feel it because you know I'm like, okay, I can't really tell. You know,
I felt that too. I went, and that's because I went back to read it when their legs, when you
their
see
legs
their
are
legs,
pulling. You see pull and yes, I had to read that. But if it was colored, it would have been more impactful.
Yeah.
So there's that. So the second thing that you said was I felt that there was I don't know how to put it. It felt like there were a lot of not time skips, like jump cuts. That's what I would call it in a movie. In this movie, where 1 minute he's trying to get out of the house and he's struggling, and the next minute he's bound, and the next minute is just another day, and the next minute is something else. So that bit that you talk about where he's facing off against the chief, right? And the other warriors, after they tell him the truth that Ifunanya is going to be sacrificed, and he's standing there and he's facing off against all of them. And then the next thing, we see him back at the village with blood all over his face. And then he's like, I'm going in. And they're like, where you going?
The climax,
and he throws the chief's head. And I'm like, did he kill all the warriors? Or like, how is he here now? Like, it's just like the movie Desperado, where at the end, he brings out his gun and he faces off against everybody, his guns, and he faces off against everybody in this casa or this villa. And the next minute, you just see walking on the road with Salma Hayek. I'm like, wait, did you kill everyone? So it happens quite a bit.
Yes, that is my big. It just happened upon my. I've been trying to articulate it. My biggest problem with the book, we skip the climax, both thematically and story-wise. Like that battle with the High Chief is supposed to establish why Amobi is different from the rest. We've been following that this is a good guy that likes to save people, but we only see the village chief present why they are doing their thing. We never get his response to that as to why what they are doing is wrong. We never get that response. We just skip to the end where he's won the battle. If we'd gotten that scene where he actually fights the chief and wins, or something changes, we actually get to see what's this thing called? A progression, like a resolution to that idea that you're presenting to us and why Amobi is right. So we just keep that entire bit and it's like,
there's a lot of jump cuts in this thing. And I'm not talking about the time skips like between 10 years to 5 years.
No, that's fine.
And then
between moments,
and then between key moments, and then next minute that person is over there. I'm like, okay.
So you saying this now, Kex, kind of confirms for me now that I was wrong, Tudy was right. This is a one-off.
The fact that it's a fairy tale.
So I can see why. Because if it wasn't a one-off, you expect them to spend on those moments you described. They'll be key. That could be that could be the end of the issue when he takes them on and all that kind of stuff. I think today you're right. This is probably a standalone one-off comment. Okay, so I have to revise how I'm gonna score this.
So like it changes how I think, and with one-offs like this, you have to choose what scenes to keep what scenes to remove. It becomes a very difficult decision when you're trying to make to tell a very concise story. Because the whole reason why we have the chief and Ifunanya, which I think is very, what's this thing called, is where the chief goes, it's a chief's responsibility to save everyone.
Yes.
It's including Ifunanya. And then the boy goes, what of Obaledo? And the chief doesn't give a response to that. So it's like they are trying, that's why they kept that scene in. So keeping that foreshadowing in, they cut out the climatic battle between the chief and the boy. And I'm like, yeah. For me personally, and this is my own personal choice, I would rather keep a battle and have that be the bulk of your story between the boy and the chief, because this is where you have your clash of ideals of what you are trying to say. That clash of ideals is the whole point of this story. Either save one and risk it all, or sacrifice one for the good of the many. So that clash of ideals is the whole point, and it's completely missing here in this particular story. And that's why at the end of the day, whether it beats the monster or it doesn't beat the monster, I don't feel there's any consequence from his choices being made. It's like the way the story is framed is like the villagers had no points, they're just lazy. And he's going to be the one to fight the monster and save the day. We don't see the consequences of what happens when they when they choose to leave the protection of the monster. So that kind of and maybe it's too much for this particular one shot, because at the end of the day it's still restricted into a one shot. But these are the kind of issues that bugged me a bit in the story. But
I felt. Oh, sorry, that will go.
No. I'm actually kind of agreeing. Well, I'm in agree with Tunde. Now I'm agreeing with him, because now my whole perception of the book has changed based on the assumption now that this is a one-off, and so hence there won't be any flashbacks. There won't be any scenes. And this then turns into it actually brings about some bad memories to me of when I used to be in the room with some young lady, and they will tease me, and then they'll walk away and go home, and there is no fulfillment in the story, and I don't know why you're laughing.
It's trauma that is you right now.
This is
memories.
So I can. So in a way, then it's almost like you have to write your own conclusion in your own head as to the outcome of this battle, and either way would be a bit unsocial, because if I just assume that he wins, then I'm thinking how strong could he have been if you just come along and you beat him now? Why couldn't you guys have beaten him?
So what if
you see the magic sword he's holding at the end? They're going to find other options. Like
is that magic sword at the end that he's holding?
Yeah, he's holding a sword of flames and this thing at the end. Like that's kind of around it.
Maybe just pour kerosene on the thing and light it. All the kind of things.
So okay. Maybe they
what's the god in Game of Thrones that the god of light?
Oh yeah.
They've had 10 years to prepare for it. So maybe they prepared for it over 10 years. But my thing is,
wait, so they have 20-30 years to prepare now.
And I don't know. Wait, I'm going with today's premise.
Okay.
What if they kill it? Or your premise now? What if you've had 10 years to prepare for it? Okay. The previous decades or centuries that they had, they were lazy. But this last 10 years, they've been proactive and planning. Okay, we have spikes here. We are doing all of this thing. We're preparing for it. What are his weaknesses? We've learned, blah, 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 blah. So you now kill it. But that means you now lose the protection of that it affords you, and now you have to fight your battles every night when the demon dogs come and the
distance. On the other hand,
before you even jump on, and that's another issue, Kex. We never saw this protection in action. We saw all those other things attacking them.
Yeah,
and then the villagers fighting back.
So that kind of uses me as well, because they do get attacked by the devil dogs and stuff. So
but on the other,
go on.
Ignoring that plot hole for a minute and assuming no devil dogs. Yes, but like ignoring that for going with Kek's premise, like they have 10 years to prepare and they kill the biggest monster of the land, and it's like human beings now, because they've succeeded in killing the biggest monster, we can now go and face our other challenges. Who knows? We can conquer more. Like humans are better off exploring and expanding rather than being kept penned in the village. So rather than staying in the village safe and and locked up, you are now having a group of people that are exploring, that are taking more land from this monster. That in the over time, that's the optimistic ending. They eventually conquer and tame the land, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least okay. Now instead of just lying back and being like, oh, we are depending on one monster to keep us safe, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly. Into their own hands. Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to. I think that's what the story is supposed to say at the end. Almost like a we're not going to lie back, lie down and take it anymore.
In a way, this is the motto of Nigeria for this year. No grief for anybody. So they're deciding they will not grieve for this demon anymore.
Yeah, we will not grieve for this demon that will just give our daughter just to give us some form of protection that doesn't even really work because we still have to fight our monsters ourselves.
Yeah, did they try to poison these daughters before they gave it to him?
I mean, they wanted their life to protect them. It's not that they want to kill it; they wanted their life to protect them.
That's
so
that's true. Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
It was the lesser evil.
Yes,
that's what they thought in their heads. Like, okay, you know what? Or it was the easy way out.
Exactly.
Easy being relative, But okay. So any other points? Yeah, thoughts before we go to ratings?
Not from me. I was going to talk about the arts, but I think you guys have covered the arts. So yeah, nothing else from me.
All right. Yeah, I thought it was quite good.
I mean, I don't have any issues with black and white generally. Yeah, so that scene to the mention, very good scene. The rest of the art, I'm okay with it. It wasn't really an issue for me generally. It's not my favorite type of art, if I'm being honest. But it wasn't that big an issue for me. Now, one thing I will say though, I talked and I think I know Doctor's art style. That page, that number 19, I did not realize that I didn't realize that was his. If I'm honest, even after I went back and saw, oh, he did 19. I went back and looked at it.
Yeah.
I did not recognize that as so it didn't jump out to me as that page was by.
Oh, it jumps out to me now. It's closer to Akogun style in black and white.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can actually see it now.
I think there was a different type of body structure types in it.
Yeah.
But it didn't, anyway,
okay.
Yeah. But that's about it for me in terms of the arts.
Yeah. Okay. It's a good book.
I'm relative. I don't think it's a bad book.
Yes, it's not.
Now I feel I feel teased, and especially because now that I'm actually confident now this is a one-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to calibrate my score in my head.
Okay,
you feel better.
I'm ready to go.
No, I don't feel better. I feel worse actually.
Okay,
yeah, I'm ready to go.
You go, Kicks.
I think I'll give this a 2.8.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. So it will go back to, first of all, the visual. I like color. So if it's in black and white, I already struggle, especially if there's action sequences and things happening, things moving. I can't really differentiate characters that easily, especially when we're having time skips from 10 years to that other 10 years, and then the only way I can tell is when somebody calls his name Amobi, and I'm like, okay, that's him. So what's he doing now? So I did like that. There are a lot of unanswered questions that I have. So this is a very personal thing. It's the same reason why, and I've said this before, I don't like anthologies. I don't like open-ended series that it will end with maybe the person has been scared of coming out of the house since because there's a devil dog outside. We spend the 45 minutes with this person going over flashbacks. The person is preparing to go outside to attack. We hear the dog roaming outside. It's nighttime. We hear the dog roaming outside. And then the episode ends with the person kicking the door open and running outside with the knives. And then it just like fades to black. I hate shit like that. So I'm someone that I like to see the end of the story. I don't like cut it in the middle and then we don't know what happens. Never been a fan. So I don't like the ending. The fact that now that feels like that's the definitive end. So for some, being open-ended like that is okay. Well, that's the triumph of the human spirit. We'll be like, yeah, regardless of what happens, whether or not they die, they still won in their minds. So I don't like stuff like that. So yeah, those
Oh,
two.
no, sorry. One more page we missed. Sorry, before you. I just going back to the book, and there was an early scene that was set in the now, where he's fighting some monsters now, asking for the humans he took. So that is after.
Yeah.
I think that comes after he kills the
creature.
What's his name
So
called?
obviously he's still. So they made it. Well done. Well done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
okay.
continue.
Thank you. That actually helps me to. That's basically answered one of my questions now. So I like the fact. Okay, so he's killing creatures, asking them to return the humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you mean?
They kill the monster, and now they are fighting the creatures by themselves. They are fighting the other monsters.
I can see him fighting the orange
all these things by
devil
themselves.
or the orange thing by himself, asking
saw that.
where are the humans
I saw
he
that.
took from my village. Yeah.
Today I didn't notice that, but because, like you said, they're like 5 years ago, 10 years later.
Years ago,
5 years
they're
after.
jumping
So
around.
So that scene is before he fights the monster.
Is it?
Yes.
Why did you say that? Why did you say that?
One, because the now sequences are sequential. They're not out of order. And even in this one, when it comes back 10 years later, actually, it has before it comes to face the monster 10 years later anyway. What are you talking about? It comes to face the monster 10 years later.
The monster is 10 years later.
Yeah, so yeah. And he had a beard.
Never mind.
And he had a beard in that scene.
Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, back.
No redemption. Okay.
So 2 points.
2.8.
Yeah. Okay. Double.
I'm going to give this. No, I'm not happy with this now. Actually, I'm going to give this a 2.3 for me. For this,
good average.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. Okay,
Why?
let me find a different analogy that won't get me arrested by the police. I think I just think it teased a lot, but gave us too little in my view. I think that's the best way I can put it. Yes, that's it. It's almost like you see a highlight reel.
So miniskirt, no pants.
Yeah, a highlight reel. But the highlight reel.
Look at today.
But did not hear me.
So what did he say?
Wow.
Sorry, what did he say?
You didn't hear me. He said
No.
yes.
Oh God.
And even the highlights we were given were not the main highlights.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like watching, I don't know, Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
Showing him dribbling and about to shoot, and then you switch to another scene. Seeing Henry about to dribble 5 people, and then
you miss the goal. I see celebration.
Yeah, exactly, stuff like that. Kind of. And I understand that this could have been an artistic choice.
Yeah.
And because I can see somebody say that, no, let's not do that. Let's just do this. But it kind of doesn't work for me personally. And now I want another story where I want them to kill this monster and see what happens with those heads.
But yeah, I get where you're coming from. But
in the folklore, the actual folklore, what happens in the end?
It's just the monster steals the little girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think that's my biggest problem. That I'm not sure the jump cuts were properly chosen. And it's difficult. It's always difficult to do this kind of story where you're jumping through time and space, picking the right moments to communicate the right, what's this thing called? The right story to the audience. So, and that's a personal choice for me. So I'll give it like a 2.5.
Okay.
For me.
Still overall, still on the cusp average.
I mean, look at
Yeah,
how
I think
long we
it's
discussed.
actually like a 2.5, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, look at how long we discussed it for, and we had things to talk about in the book, so it's not a bad book.
No, it's not. It's not a bust because at least, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We didn't have enough things to talk about.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So next week,
Okay.
we've been on for an hour 45. So next week we'll be talking about some graphic novels. So over the course of
Yeah.
this week, we'll be reviewing some. We'll be reading, and then next week we'll review some graphic novels. But we're going to steer away from the big two.
Yes,
And
no
try to
DC, no Marvel.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we'll be looking at some of the best graphic novels of the past few decades, at least the ones that we can pick out.
Okay,
Underrated graphic novels.
Can we try and look at some of the work from Roy Okupe? He's got some graphic novels.
Oh
But
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We can pick up Asheri by I think Samuel Emuzi from this book also
Actually,
worked on Asheri, yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah, we can pick up books like that. So yeah, so we'll be because it's our 200th episode, we'll be
Yep.
taking a break from the big two and
Yes.
looking at the more celebrated, underrated books from other comic
Other comic
houses.
houses. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
So yeah.
So
See you
guys, remember to rate, like, subscribe. Naija's Geeking Out, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week. Today.
Yes. See you guys next week. Bye.
Red.
Unbreakable as ever. See you next week.
That one.
Once again, guys, thanks for listening for 199 episodes, and we will see you later.